hate to interrupt your regular broadcast. Okay, we're going to interrupt your regular slop broadcast with some breaking news. It was originally a Barak Ravid tweet, but now it's been confirmed by BBC and others. The Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has ordered the military to immediately strike in Gaza. This, they claim, has been in response to them returning fire after a Hamas sniper and anti-tank attack took place in Rafah, a new one. This is the second one I think that they've claimed since the beginning of the ceasefire. About this time last week, there was a very brief break in the ceasefire that lasted about the best part of a day, but it seems that they're back on it. If you've been paying much attention to what's been going on, this was kind of inevitable, even if it's not the right thing to do, in my opinion. But if you want the background, about a little over a week ago, there was another break in the ceasefire when the IDF claimed to have had two IDF soldiers died, and allegedly this was after a group of people in Rafah were attacked by Hamas militants who had been holed up in one of the tunnels in IDF occupied Rafah. If you want to talk about how true that is, it's the IDF's word against Hamas. You can rule out a few claims. For example, the last time this happened, Ryan Grimm said it doesn't even make any sense because IDF has had full control of the rubble that is Rafah for an extremely long time. Even Qassam doesn't rule out the potential that they were there. This was Al-Qassam brigades in response to the last break of the ceasefire on the 19th of October. We affirm our full commitment to implementing everything that's been agreed upon, foremost among which is the ceasefire in all areas of the Gaza Strip. We are not aware of any events or clashes taking place in the Rafah area, as these are red zones under the control of the occupation, and contact has been cut off with remaining groups of ours that are there since the return of the war in March of this year. So even Al-Qassam doesn't deny that they might have people still in Rafah. They don't deny that. They don't deny that at all. They do, however, claim that they've no information on whether the people have been martyred or are still alive because they have had no connection or communication. The issue there is that last time this happened, it wasn't just Rafah where there was fire on the IDF that day. There was also fire in Khan Yunis. So, and one other location as well, I think, close to the ceasefire line. So we don't know whether or not these cells are operating independently of the top leadership, or even how it would be possible for Hamas to communicate with fighters who are holed up in tunnels without the IDF noticing it. But in any case, it has apparently happened again, and Netanyahu has gone for an immediate strike on Gaza. And they've said it's going to be heavy. They are also going to claim that it's to do with Hamas's more non-combative violations of the ceasefire. They're going to claim that it's because Hamas also just recently gave back a coffin. They gave back the remains of a hostage, but it has turned out to be just more remains of a hostage body that had already been returned. It's not a new body. It's just more parts of an old body that has already been given back. So they're going to blame it on that. There is another reason as well that they'll be doing this. It's not just because, well, overall, Hamas have shown quite clearly that they're not willing to go to the next phase of the ceasefire, which would involve them disarming. That's the next thing that they don't want to be involved in. They don't want to disarm. They don't want to give anyone a map of their tunnel infrastructure to get it destroyed. They don't want any of that. They want to keep their arms, and they want to keep up their right to resist, whatever that means to them. They want to keep that up, and they're not willing to go to the rest of the 20-point plan to do it. Now, that's not the only reason, though, because other people have said, American officials have said this as well. I covered this the other day. American officials have said that, and I agree with this, that just because Hamas are refusing to disarm, that does not mean that you need to cross the ceasefire line and expand it and start trying to, quote unquote, finish the job. You don't need to do that. There is already proposals going around that things that have actually been kind of bubbling under the surface for over a year, but no one's done anything about it, is that there is already willingness from Egyptians and other parties to start trying to clear out rubble in the south or the IDF occupied parts and start to rebuild and allow most of the Gazan population who are in the Hamas side of the line to if they wish, civilians to come over the line and to move to places that can be rebuilt after a pretty simple screening process to make sure that they're not Hamas militants sneaking in. That wouldn't be too difficult. I don't think, at least compared to the goal of finishing the job to make Hamas surrender, the 2-year project that's been going on, I am going to assume, without, maybe we'll get more information, I believe that these are the two options. It's to finish the job against Hamas, if that's what he's doing. I don't know if he's going to just take aggressive steps and stop in 24 hours again. They might do that. But for now, the ceasefire, this is way beyond ceasefire terms. This is not like there's a ceasefire, but if we see a threat, we'll deal with it. This is a clear escalation beyond ceasefire terms. There's no way around it. Now, the two options I think Israel has is, one is to not let Hamas regroup, use these violations as an opportunity to just go straight back and finish the job, regardless of how that is for your own soldiers, let alone the population of Gaza, who are mostly on the Hamas side of the line. They are mostly going to be in the crossfire when that happens. The second option is to say to Hamas, well, you've got just under half of the Gaza Strip, most of the population. You don't want to disarm. You don't want to move this process forward. Okay, we'll just do it without you. We can just rebuild and take international partners into places like Rafah, into Khan Yunis, and we can start clearing out rubble and rebuilding and offering this opportunity for Gazans who don't want to be part of Hamas's project to see some kind of future beyond war. They could do that, but obviously Netanyahu, he wants to, my guess is he wants to get rid of Hamas as quickly as possible, because that's the one big thing that will completely rescue his legacy, his Mr. Security legacy, and because I guess fighting is just more attractive to him than building or allowing other people to build. So that's where we are now. That's the breaking news as of just before 5 o'clock on the 28th of October, British time. Loner Box News. Okay. That all right? We'll look for updates later, because that's literally just the breaking news. I don't know anything else yet. The Americans have also approved the current strikes, it seems. Subscribe, you fucking assholes. I mean, sorry.